everyone, Joshua Myers here, and today I'm going to be reviewing yet another John Carpenter movie, and that is Vampires from 1998.
Kill some vampires.
A showdown is about to begin between the soldiers of the day and the army of the night.
You can't kill me.
James Woods.
Open wide, baby.
John Carpenter's Vampires. Opens everywhere October 30th.
Vampire stars James Woods, Daniel Baldwin, Cheryl Lee, Thomas Ian Griffith, and is directed by John Carpenter. The plot of Vampires is that ever since his parents were murdered by vampires, Jack Crow, portrayed by James Woods, has had one purpose in life: putting stakes through bloodsuckers' heart. With his battle-hardened crew of vampire killers and the assistance of the Catholic Church, Crow roams the New Mexico desert looking for the undead layers to annihilate. But he meets his match when at a roadside motel, he comes face to face with Jan Valdick, portrayed by Thomas Ian Griffith, a vampire king possessed of incredible powers. Now, before I get into the rest of this review, this was a first-time watch for me. I've never seen Vampires before. This was a first-time watch for me, and I watched it because it's John Carpenter and that. I love John Carpenter. He's up there with some of my favorite horror directors. That he's one of my inspirations for kind of, my work and that, so I do have some thoughts here, so let's just get right into them. I love the concepts of this movie. I love how it's like a battle-hardened vampire hunter, and his team and that, trying to take down vampires and that. And apparently there's this main leader of vampires and that, which, by the way, the character Valak has a pretty cool look in that for a vampire. And speaking of the vampires here, they did not go with the kind of, pussied out vampires, like what you see now these days with, what you see in, with the Twilight movies and stuff like that. No, these are genuine threats and everything, and they can multiply in numbers and everything like that. And I liked all that. I also like the actors too. This is the first time I've seen some of these actors, but I've seen one of them before, and that's, whoever plays Jack Crow, James Woods. I've seen him before. He voiced Hades in the Disney Hercules. He voiced a character in Stuart Little too, and that. So I've definitely I've only mainly seen him through his voice acting career, but I've never seen him in regards to a live action role like this. So this is my first time I've seen him on screen in regards to, seeing the man behind the voices and that. So and he's good. He's definitely good. He's a good actor, and in fact, most of the actors here are pretty good. Also, too, I love the cinematography in here by John Carpenter. I think he did the cinematography. Let me see. Okay, so it wasn't John Carpenter. It was a person by the name of Gary B. Cupa, I think. He did a great job with the cinematography, plus with the help of John Carpenter, I'm sure that's something to help actually. I also dug the music for the most part. It the music kind of reminded me of the music he did for They Live, actually, except a much more Western approach. That's another thing I really like too with vampires. I really like kind of the whole Western type angle. I mean, Western and horror seem to work pretty well together. Actually, they seem to mix pretty well. And that's kind of interesting considering John Carpenter, when he's mentioned this in interviews before, but initially when he wanted to direct films and that, he didn't want to direct horror movies. He wanted to make westerns. But they were telling him, oh, westerns died out and everything like that. So in a way, he kind of got to make his dream movie, I guess you could say, because he always wanted to do westerns, and this was kind of like the compromise, a western horror movie. It was a compromise between the stuff he always wanted to do and the stuff, that he's known for, and most people recognize him for. So, so that was pretty nice to see. Also, too, the pacing of this film is actually pretty decent. The film clocks in at an hour and 48 minutes, and honestly, it doesn't really feel like that. And mostly feels like an hour and a half, like an hour and 30 minutes. So it moves by pretty decently, actually. Like, you don't feel like you're watching an incredibly long movie or anything like that, or even close to a 2-hour movie. Also, too, another positive I have is the effects. The effects actually look pretty decently, actually. Not some of the best effects works I've seen from John Carpenter's movies, but definitely not his worst. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, too, I actually did like one of the characters really, like, quite a bit. I liked Father Adam, portrayed by Tim Guinea, I think that's how you pronounce his name. If not, that's actually the first time I've seen him in any movie or anything, at least as far as I know. So, and he was good. I did like his character in that, and I thought he portrayed the world pretty well. He gave off a kind of likable presence and everything like that, kind of a quirky presence in that. He was kind of in the sense of comic relief of the film, but it wasn't too much to where, you know, kind of like destroyed the tone of the film. But honestly, for me, that's it with my positives, and I do have some things that I really don't care for, so let's move on to my negatives. It boils down to a couple things here. One is, now while I like the concepts and ideas that John Carpenter goes for here, I just don't like the execution. I think the execution, like, it could have been executed way much better. Now, I know apparently this is based on a book by the same name. I've never read the book. In fact, I just recently heard of the fact it was based on the book when I watched the movie, and, you know, during the credits it says based on a book by I don't know who, but yeah, and I'm not sure how similar the movie is from the book, or how different the movie is from the book, or how much better, like if the books ain't better or if the movie's better. I don't know personally, so I can't really tell you that. But what I could tell you is I think I do like the ideas and concepts. I just think it could have been executed a lot better. It's kind of like for me with his other film, Escape from New York. I do love the concept and ideas from Escape from New York, but I personally feel like it could have been executed a lot better. And another thing that's kind of like why I thought of Escape from New York in this movie is, now while like the actors that John Carpenter got in this movie, I personally don't really care for the characters. A lot of them are either dumb characters, or a lot of them are kind of assholes, really. Like, not much of them get likable presence at all, especially for your main hero characters. Don't like the characters. I like the actors. They seem to do a pretty good job in that. I like their performances, but don't like the characters. I would have done something different with that. But honestly, for me personally, that's really it in regards to my negatives, but those are kind of pretty big negatives, so let's move on to my rating. So with that said, I'm going to give Vampires a 3 out of 5 stars. Honestly, for me, it's okay. Just like with Escape from New York, it's just okay. It's decent enough. And just like Escape from New York, the thing that kind of holds this movie back is, again, I love the concept and ideas. I love, I think I really do like the actors that they picked to portray these parts. They do pretty good with acting. It's just that in regards to concepts and ideas, I think they should have been executed better, and the characters should have been executed better, because a lot of them were either, or they were just assholes, bunch of assholes that you could give two shits about. Yeah, I mean, Vampires is an okay movie, you know? I mean, it's not one of John Carpenter's best movies, it's not one of his worst either. And in regards to his 90s work so far, I'm going to have to say I prefer In the Mouth of Madness, actually, so far. I think, and I came out before this, actually. I came out in 1995, and this was 1998. So, 3 years after In the Mouth of Madness, and personally, I think John Carpenter didn't do that great of, as great of a job with this movie as he did with In the Mouth of Madness. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.